Good morning, and welcome to your AIDailyPress morning podcasts for December 18th, 2025. I'm your host, Walter. We're following several developing stories today. First, in international news, a proposed alliance between Bangladesh, China, and Pakistan is gaining attention. This potential partnership could significantly alter regional dynamics with far-reaching implications for India's strategic autonomy and security. We'll continue to monitor this situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. In Washington, the U.S. Senate has passed the National Defense Authorization Act, a $900 billion defense policy bill that now heads to President Trump's desk for signature. The bill includes provisions such as a 3% pay raise for service members and authorization of $400 million in military assistance to Ukraine. However, some lawmakers have expressed concerns about certain aspects of the legislation. Additionally, House Democrats have forced votes on two war powers, resolutions aimed at limiting President Trump's authority to strike Venezuela or continue conducting strikes on alleged drug-running boats. The votes come amid escalating tensions between the US and Venezuela, with lawmakers urging caution and calling for greater transparency from the administration. We'll be discussing these stories in more detail throughout the day. For now, that's your morning update from the AIDailyPress. I'm Walter, and that's a wrap. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and Nanshul and know what's right now. We're starting the day with a roundup of the latest news. Firstly, the EU-Mercosur trade deal is on shaky ground as France and Ireland threaten to veto the agreement over concerns about Brazil's environmental policies and the impact on European farmers. The outcome will have significant implications for global trade and the European economy. In other news, the U.S. military has carried out a lethal strike on a vessel in the Eastern Pacific, killing 4 people suspected of narco-trafficking. This is part of an ongoing effort to disrupt narco-trafficking routes and comes amid increasing tensions between the US and Venezuela. Closer to home, President Trump paid his respects to 2 members of the Iowa National Guard and a U.S. civilian who lost their lives in a tragic attack in Syria over the weekend. The incident highlights the continued threat posed by extremist groups and has sparked renewed concerns about the ongoing conflict in the region. We'll be keeping a close eye on these developing stories and providing updates as more information becomes available. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, experts predict a bullish outlook for the stock market in the next year, with expected gains ranging from 5% to 10%, driven by robust corporate earnings growth, particularly in the tech sector. However, some analysts warn of potential risks amid the AI optimism, drawing parallels with the dot-com crash of the early 2000s. Secondly, global markets experienced significant fluctuations as investors await crucial economic indicators, including the U.S. non-farm payroll data. Asian markets led the decline, with China's Shanghai Composite Index plummeting 0.7% amidst concerns over slowing economic growth and waning tech gains. Lastly, Micron Technology is set to release its quarterly earnings report today, with investors adopting a cautious stance due to concerns over industry downturns, competitive pressures, and geopolitical tensions. Despite these challenges, some investment banks have raised their price targets for Micron, citing its strategic advantages as the sole American memory manufacturer at scale. These stories highlight the complex and rapidly evolving market environment, where investors must remain informed and vigilant to make informed decisions. We'll continue to provide in-depth analysis and expert insights throughout the day. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. First up, astronomers at Caltech's Palomar Observatory believe they may have identified the first observed case of a superkilonova, a rare and spectacular event that could shed new light on the universe's most extreme phenomena. This extraordinary occurrence is thought to be the result of a double blast of dying stars, producing an exponentially larger explosion than previously observed. In other news, billionaire entrepreneur Jared Isaacman has been confirmed as the new NASA administrator, paving the way for him to lead the agency at a critical juncture. Isaacman will oversee the agency's ambitious plans to return humans to the moon by 2025 and establish a sustainable presence on the lunar surface. Lastly, we take a look at a fascinating discovery made possible by the detection of gravitational wave signals. Researchers have identified a rapidly fading red body, later classified as AT225 volts, approximately 3 billion light-years away. The object's characteristics initially resembled those of a kilonova, but then began to brighten again and turn blue, indicating the presence of hydrogen, which is more characteristic of a supernova. These three articles offer a glimpse into the exciting world of space exploration and the ongoing quest for knowledge about our universe. We'll be keeping a close eye on these developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Firstly, we've been following the situation with the Denver Broncos, who have designated linebacker Kareem Reed to return from injured reserve. This move comes at a crucial time for the team, as they've recently lost Justin Strnad to an ankle injury. The Broncos are also expected to turn to P.J. Locke as a fill-in starter across from Talanoa Hufanga, and may consider bringing in veteran free agents to add depth to their safety position. In other news, the United Football League's Columbus Aviators have made a bold move by hiring former Ohio State and NFL wide receiver Ted Ginn Jr. as their new head coach. Ginn brings a wealth of experience and knowledge to the team, having had a successful 12-year career in the NFL. His hiring is a testament to the UFL's commitment to developing young talent and providing opportunities for growth and success. Lastly, we've been keeping an eye on the situation with the Broncos' playoff hopes as they look to secure the AFC West title and the #1 seed in the conference. With only 3 games left in the regular season, their next moves will undoubtedly be closely watched by fans and analysts alike. And finally, in a story that embodies the very essence of perseverance and dedication, we've been monitoring the situation with the Columbus Aviators' new head coach, Ted Ginn Jr., who is poised to make a significant impact on the league. As fans of football, we can expect exciting times ahead, with Ginn's passion and expertise guiding the team. This is Howard Closewell speaking, and I'll be keeping a close eye on these developments as they unfold. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we reflected on the power of music and art to bring people together as we explored the impact of a recent music festival on the local community. We highlighted the importance of creative expression and its ability to transcend boundaries and foster connection. Secondly, we delved into the world of workplace anxiety, where we discussed the growing concerns of Gen Z workers who are struggling with everyday office interactions. We examined the statistics and stories behind this phenomenon and emphasized the need for employers to create a more supportive and flexible work environment to mitigate these anxieties. Lastly, we examined a thought-provoking case in Tennessee, where a former cop was arrested for posting memes on Facebook that criticized the attention given to certain tragedies. We raised important questions about free speech, law enforcement, and the power of social media, and invited our listeners to join the conversation on finding a balance between safety and freedom of expression. These stories remind us that our world is complex and multifaceted, and that there's always more to explore and discuss. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, we have a heartwarming story about the Vance family's stylish moment at an event. Courtney B. Vance and his family, including his wife and children, looked absolutely elegant, making it a truly unforgettable occasion. We'd love to hear from you. What do you think about their sense of style? Share your thoughts with us on social media using the hashtag #AIDailyPress. In more somber news, we're following a devastating story out of Los Angeles, where Nick Reiner, the son of renowned film director Rob Reiner, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection with the deaths of his parents. Our thoughts are with the Reiner family and all those affected by this senseless tragedy. And finally, we have some piping hot tea for you. Nene Leakes, the OG queen of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, is reportedly in talks to return to Bravo after a very public exit and lawsuit. It seems like she's putting her differences with the network aside and exploring new opportunities, including a possible appearance on the Real Housewives Ultimate Road Trip. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story and bringing you all the updates. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we have a pressing issue in Costa Rica, where uninsulated power lines are causing a staggering number of animal electrocutions, including monkeys, sloths, and other arboreal creatures. Conservation groups and lawmakers are pushing for urgent action to address this preventable crisis. In contrast, we have a heartwarming story from the western Hudson Bay region, where a female polar bear has been observed adopting a cub, marking only the 13th documented case of such behavior in nearly half a century. This rare instance highlights the complex social dynamics of polar bears and offers a glimpse into their intricate social bonds. Lastly, we're looking at the devastating impact of climate change on wildlife populations, as seen in the alarming number of animal deaths due to electrocution in Costa Rica and the struggles faced by polar bears in the Hudson Bay region. However, it's also clear that community-led solutions and collaborative efforts can make a significant difference in protecting our planet's precious biodiversity. These stories serve as a poignant reminder of the importance of continued research and conservation efforts to protect our planet's incredible wildlife. We'll be following these developments closely and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's work together to make a difference for our planet's precious wildlife. And that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Nature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.